You can't deny me that I'm blessed. Make me happy and nobody can deny me that I'm blessed. Self-preservation, self-elevation. These days they deserve celebration. No hesitation, no reservation. Go for the big leagues, no relegation. Let's celebrate life, kick back and take 5. And give thanks to the source that create life. To see a sunset or see a sunrise. And see my son born with these same eyes. To see my son smile bright in every gray sky. He's growing so fast, that's why every day I give it 100, now stop at 90. Praise the Almighty, the Father Almighty. Feeling blessed, oh. Say to them, you're my guy. Say to them, don't go stress, oh. Say to them, you're my guy. Make I tell you, see my life is like a movie. And if I tell you all these things, I don't see truly. See my eyes don't see. Before my life come me, say many try to fool me. But I didn't pray for my enemies, I'm truly. And I didn't pray for my keys, that's my blessing. Pray for the friends I lost. I pray you never see no loss. Yeah, strong pressure, feet on to pressure. I don't see the pressure, make man record. Yeah, so make you live your life, or judge and you regret them. With my pressure, I got it, man, so get control. My brother make you know. Life when I did live, say I did live, I'm on the low. Hustle every day, I'm willing to take control. Never by the money, man, I'm staying in my zone. Feeling blessed, oh. Say to me, you're my guy. Don't go stress, oh. Say to me, you're my guy. See, I don't wanna talk about the things we go really be. You make me down tonight. Say I don't wanna talk about the things we go make me frown tonight. Say I just wanna hold on to my corner with my lady, make she cool me down. Say I just wanna hold on to my corner with my lady, make she cool me down. I might be rough around the edges, maybe yes. I keep it nappy and I do what make me happy, and nobody can deny me that I'm blessed. I might be rough around the edges, maybe yes. I keep it nappy and I do what make me happy, and nobody can deny me that I'm blessed. Say to them I'm feeling blessed, oh. Say to them you're my guys, you can't get me. Oh, 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 oh. Say to them I no go stress, oh. Say to them you're my guys, you can't get me. Oh, 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 oh. Controller.
Baby girl, listen up. Heard from your girls you like to fuck. Tell me what it is you really want. Tell me what it is I do for you. I know your body's fire. Baby girl, just make it up. Know you like to wild, yeah. For what we need to do, don't need your love.
So put it on me. I got a key. Whisper to me something lovely. Put it on me. I got a key. Whisper to me something lovely.
I got the girl from the south side. We connect like a Wi-Fi. She don't fall for the bad guy. But the bad is a big size, big size.
Word, you ain't gon' find another guy. But man, I feel I'm on top now. Plus my sheet can make you capsize. But this deal don't need another guy. Word, you ain't gon' find another guy. But man, I feel I'm on top now. Plus my sheet can make you capsize. This deal you don't need another guy.
Fantasy, no, you mean the world to me. Yeah, you're my melody, yeah. You're just enough for me. not for me. Yeah. I really want to love you. Tell me I want to see your face. I really want to show you how I feel. I can't contest. No, no. I really want to give you the loving I know you deserve. Girl, I just know you're the one. Why you're the one for me? But can I have your body for the night? Mama, you make me feel alright. I thought you give me guitar, you're telling night. Mama, you make me feel alright. Can I have your body for the night? Mama, you make me feel alright. I thought you give me the joy, I can't deny. Mama, you make me feel alright.
Boy, cause he's shiny. Too many girls when they sign me. They say I love you cause you're sexy. Yeah. But me, I know that they lying. Bling, 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 bling. Ding, 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 ding. Bling, 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 bling. Ding, 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 ding. Ooh. I've been in things they don't do. But she say she no one go. Every day telling me bonjour. Cause the money sweet like banco. I've been eating say don't do. But she say she no one go. Every day telling me bonjour. Cause the money sweet like banco. So I put the feather come when I pass it down. So I put the feather come when I pass it down. Put some Gucci on that booty cause she kill a man. That's why she don't want to cause she wanna stick around. But she still say that she love me cause I'm sexy. And I tell her that she lying, that she vexing. She be screaming, I be screaming, we be reckless. But I know that she be liking makeup sexy. Instead of shifting the goalposts, they no feel play me, they don't know. Cause the man come for the ghetto. From the street where they go. Yeah, I see them shifting the goalposts.
You are on mute, Sabo.
Thank you. Sorry. I could never get used to this. I think like one moment you think you got it and then, yeah. So hi and welcome everyone. My name is Tsepo Wenyama. I am Injini's programs and portfolio head. And thank you for joining us this afternoon for our virtual bootcamp pitch event. So I'll just take you through very briefly in terms of who Injini is and why we gathered here today. So I think firstly, I'll just do like a warm welcome and introduction, and then followed by an introduction of our judges as well, who are here today. And then we would also just jump straight into the pitches. And then end of the day with an award ceremony. So the time will be adjusted a little bit there based on a few companies who pulled out last minute. So initially we'll have sort of lesser pitches, which means that like it'll take us quicker. So a little bit about Injini. We exist for the sole purpose to improve education outcomes in Sub-Saharan Africa. And our mission is to increase the quality, access, and relevance of education throughout Sub-Saharan Africa by supporting and empowering impactful education technology companies who are harnessing the power of innovation and promoting evidence-driven decision-making by education stakeholders. And in terms of practically how that looks like, we've got three main pillars in which we achieve our mission. And the first one is our flagship program, which is the Acceleration Partnership Program. That's designed for more mature companies who are in sort of the post-revenue pre-seed or pre-series A stage of development. So these guys have shown a lot of traction in their respective markets, both from a revenue point of view, but also just from a user-based point of view. And then the second layer of our work is our virtual EdTech bootcamps, which a lot of you guys are here for as part of that initiative. So we offer a three-week long virtual EdTech bootcamp to EdTech companies who are in the early stage and sometimes ideation phase of their development process. And we offer sort of fundamental things that we believe are fundamental and essential to the development of African EdTech companies. This, I'll sort of jump into details in terms of what those virtual EdTech bootcamps look like. And then lastly, we do EdTech meetups and community events, and that is bringing together different stakeholders across the education technology ecosystem in sub-Saharan Africa through various events and initiatives. One example of these kind of initiatives are like our community events, biannual community events. We've got one coming up at the early start of this next quarter, so be on the lookout on our socials for that. And then the last part is our research. So Injini's think tank is a new addition to our work and how we do work. And that's our research and advisory division. It's for Africa, by Africa. And really what we're doing here is wanting to support founders build more evidence-driven solutions, more evidence-driven startups. And we want to do that by providing very market-based, relevant, and in real-time research. So our primary EdTech eco-dev activities include the virtual EdTech bootcamps. We've also got an online course offering for African EdTech entrepreneurs. And then the last thing I spoke about was community events and meetups. Without the support of the Cape Innovation and Technology Initiative, our work wouldn't necessarily be possible. We are supported by the Cape Innovation CiTi. This is the longest standing digital skills and entrepreneurship accelerator and incubator in Africa. They've got a long history of supporting digital innovation, entrepreneurship, and digital skills development across South Africa. And then our team that's also sort of making the practical work on the ground possible is we led by Krista Davison, who is our executive head, as well as Brandon Hughes, who's the chairperson of our board, myself, and then our senior research manager, Kelly Alcock, who leads our research work. And we don't only work alone. I've got an incredible team of 2 program coordinators, Bushe and Pimelo, who are on the call here and have been supporting throughout the bootcamp. And we've also got 1 data and comms intern, Dombi, who's been incredible. And then the research team has 3 analysts that are working within that division. Cool. And then there's like our board at the bottom. And then lastly, our footprint. We've worked with more than just over 38 companies through our accelerator and our bootcamp to date, represented across 10 different geographies in Africa, and as well as 93% of the companies that we've worked with are still operational to date. And lastly, our early stage EdTech innovators are supported through our ecosystem development initiatives are close to 1,000, over 1,000 innovators and entrepreneurs that we've worked with through initiatives like the bootcamps. This is our sort of incubation alumni. These are companies that we've been working with from sort of 2017 when Injini started to 2020, which was the last year of our incubation program. And then these are currently active acceleration partners that we are working with through the Acceleration Partnership Program. And then about this bootcamp. So the companies that will be pitching today have gone through a very rigorous selection process to get and make it into the bootcamp. But also they've gone through 12 hours of coursework, about 3 group workshops, and 9 team assignments that they've had to get through. And in some instances, there's been opportunities to get feedback from our team on some of the activities that they've done, as well as their pitches that they've prepared for us today. I'll stop talking, and I'd like to just take the opportunity to say a big thank you to our industry experts today who are joining us, who've taken time out of their busy schedule to be a part of this. So this is a combination of alumni, investors who are committed to the development of the African EdTech ecosystem. So I'd like to just sort of from the top ask them to just switch on their videos and their cameras and give an introduction of who they are, their work, and yeah, I'll start with Belinda.
Hi everyone, my name is Belinda Ndlovu. I'm head of operations here at Uthini Tech. Uthini is a peer-to-peer language learning platform We're based in Cape Town, South Africa. Basically, we connect people who want to learn a language to people who already speak it using a chatbot and a structured learning platform. Uthini was part of the first cohort of Injini. Currently, I manage a team of about 60 tutors, and we have plus minus 800 students on the platform. Our big, hairy, audacious goal in the next 5 years is to have over 500,000 students learning on our platform. I'm very excited to hear all about your ideas and your businesses.
Awesome. Thanks, Belinda, and thanks for joining us. Khumbulani.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much, Tsep, for the introduction and for the invite into this Bootcamp Pitch Event. My name is Khumbulani Mavuma. I'm the co-founder and the CEO of Index Venture Partners, actually a Pan-African venture capital firm aiming to back the next generation of highly disruptive tech startups. We basically invest at the pre-seed and the seed stages, you know, in companies that are really solving interesting and pressing problems in our continent. Of course, EdTech is one of the sectors of our interest, and also fintech and future of work, which is very much closer to my heart. Yeah, I'm excited really to be here, and I'm looking forward to obviously get to know more about what the guys have been doing, and to give the best judgment. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Khumbulani. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Sorry, got excited there. And then Allan, please.
Hi, everyone. Hope everyone's doing very well today. My name is Allan Mushabe. I'm the CEO of Lightbulb, and we are an alumni of the Injini programs. In terms of what we do, we're basically a learning management system provider, but we've obviously evolved now into more of a virtual learning environment provider. The key aspect that we do is we provide a simplified online service for both educational institutions and organizations to provide learning and training online. So yeah, I'm very interested to hear more about some of the opportunities. I've been there before. I know exactly how it is to pitch to a group of judges, and yeah, don't be worried. And yeah, hopefully you can get some good feedback from us at the end of the day. Thank you.
Thanks, Allan. And then last but not least, Grant. Grant, are you on? Okay. He's connecting. Hi, Grant.
Hello, everybody.
Cool.
Can you hear me and see me? Sorry, we just got load shed and my UPS did not provide uninterrupted power, so I had to swap the route.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Sure. My name is McNulty. I run eAfrica Digital. It's a company that provides educational and cultural resources to African language speakers through mobile websites, through a WhatsApp chatbot, etc., etc. Thanks very much, Injini, for inviting me to be here, and good luck to everyone pitching. I just want to say I've been through boot camps. I've done 3-minute pitches, so I'm sure you're prepared, and don't worry about it. Good luck.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Grant. I think now we'll just dive straight into the pitches and just some sort of general house rules before we get into the pitches. We've already shared the pitching order to all the companies that are pitching today. So if you guys could be just ready with your pitch in the background while the first one goes on, and as soon as the other one finishes with their Q&A, just be ready to start presenting. And then secondly, each entrepreneur has 4 minutes to pitch their solution, as well as 3 minutes to answer questions from judges. And if there's no one interested, if there are no questions from the judges, I'd also open it up to any audience members that like to feedback or ask questions as well to the entrepreneur who's pitching. So the first one up is Tisha. So if you're ready, you have 4 minutes, the team will time you. And then the judges, your scorecards, make sure to sort of grade them as accordingly on the spreadsheet that's been shared with you. So you just only have to worry about scoring it. You don't have to worry about putting together the total or anything else beyond that. We've all got that sorted out. Cool. Let's kick off. Tisha, go first. The floor is yours. You can hear us? Okay, I think Victoria is joining now. Can you turn this on? Okay, I'll just skip to them. And very easy languages, if you can just jump in and start your pitch. Sorry about that.
Okay, hello everyone.
Yep, we can hear you.
Okay, so I'll share my screen now.
Okay, so let us know when you're ready to pitch across the time.
Okay, hello everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. My name is Jimmy Ojikutu of Very Easy Languages. We're trying to help users have fun learning Nigerian languages, chat with native speakers, and book a tutor. Our target customer user is GDA, second generation Nigerian in the diaspora between 16 and 35. Who doesn't know how to speak his native language, but really wants to connect with his roots. And then CiTi, for example, is also a Nigerian living within Nigeria and has been transferred to another part of the country for our youth service, but doesn't know how to speak the local language. And then we have Rodrigo in Brazil that loves the Yoruba culture and wants to be able to connect with the culture and speak the language. The problem is that non-speakers and secondary speakers of Nigerian languages and African languages need to learn either for cultural connection, travel and tourism, easy communication, and don't have easy ways to access this learning. And our solution is that now they can learn from anywhere they are through their mobile phones with a fun and interactive app that makes it easy to learn and links them with native speakers to improve learning speed through practice. Our unique value proposition is that we have fun and interactive bite-sized content, gamification, and chats with native speakers that makes learning easy. Our roadmap, we are currently building an MVP that would have English to Yoruba learning and intend including another language, Igbo, by October, and then other languages as time goes on. Our goal is to have users select their language of communication and the language they want to learn in. And some of our features are bite-sized content, narrative-driven, context-based video and animation examples, trivia and quizzes, gamification, leaderboards, social share, and tokens. Our current market is 15 million Nigerians in the diaspora, and by extension, 169.1 Africans in the diaspora. Another market we have is the over 300,000 youth corpus posted every year within Nigeria that move from one part of the country to the other. Our traction, we're currently building a waiting list that we intend to build to about 10,000 at launch. And our revenue model is a freemium one where users can use a very limited version of the app for free and then subscribe to a premium version at $5.99 monthly. And then they have the options of in-app purchases for additional features. Our competition is Duolingo, Babel, iAfrica, and others, but we're positioned to meet the need of our target audiences with all the features we've created in the app. Our team is made up of myself, Ojikutu, with years of experience in content creation, advertising, projects, and then Temi Adealawu, who's a PhD in linguistics. And we intend to use the 5,000 rands to grow our waiting list and also to do some user testing and integrations for our prototype. Injini has been, the experience in Injini has been wonderful, and we've learned a lot, and we intend to take the advantage of everything we've learned to apply to growing our app and getting users. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jimmy. Well done. Congratulations. In terms of how we take questions, so anyone sort of any of the judges can just sort of just unmute themselves and then ask a question, and we can just take turns with that.
Well, I think Olu's pitch was very much straightforward, so I do not have questions on my end. Wish you all the best, Olu.
Sure. Thanks, Khumbulani. Allan, Grant, Belinda.
Sorry, carry on.
Sorry, both sides. So Martin, I just want to go back to the revenue model, just to understand, if you don't mind, just going back to that.
To the what?
The revenue
model. Okay.
Okay, so sorry, I just want to read it quickly. You said lessons. What is the is there like a break-even point in terms of like the numbers that you need in order to with the premium side, or is that like how do you cover the existing costs of the running part?
I didn't hear you repeat the question.
Sorry, I'm just I was hoping you might just be able to let us know how are you covering the existing like running costs on the freemium side. I just want you just to reiterate that again, if you don't mind. Is it just the ads? Do you already have like potential organizations or yeah?
Okay, we're still in pre-launch, so we've been doing a lot of user interviews. You know, we've been meeting with our potential customers. We even did like a survey of a range between $1 and $10 of what users would like to pay for a monthly subscription, and then we landed at between $5 to $7. So that's why we're looking at pricing the subscription within that range, looking at $5.99 monthly. So we're talking to customers, we're interviewing potential users, and we're getting feedback from them as we build our prototype. So yeah, based on feedback from user interviews, we were able to land at that cost for monthly subscription. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Grant.
Well done. Thank you for the presentation. Thank you. I'd just like to know, please, Olu. I mean, obviously, you know, you still you have a roadmap and working out your MVP. The figures look very good. You know, the number of Nigerians in the diaspora, et cetera, But I'm just wondering how, in the very first place, you kind of validated your idea. How did you say, okay, there's all of these people in the diaspora and others who may want to learn Nigerian languages? How did you get feedback on that to know that it was something worth pursuing?
Yeah, like I mentioned, we've been talking to people. We've been carrying out test surveys to most of our contacts. We got them from Nigerian groups in the US, for example, and in the UK, which will be, apart from Nigeria, those will be our target markets at the beginning. So we sent out surveys to some school groups, usually, mostly in the universities, and then we're able to get feedback from them. And then also from, social groups as well, that, Nigerian, especially Nigerians that have been away for a while, and can't really speak their language. There's a current resurgence of or current interest in the African culture, which is driven mostly by the music and other art forms. So based on our feedback, we were able to get to find that a lot of these Nigerians in the diaspora actually are interested, but most of the major problem they have would be where to start from. YouTube, for example, has a few content here and there, but it's not really organized. And then getting language tutors over there would be quite expensive. So, that's why we were able to deduct that, okay, this would be a cheaper option for them. And we're also keen on interactivity, on the app being interactive and fun.
Jimmy,
yeah,
we are out of time, so we have to jump onto the next page. Thank you for that.
Okay, awesome, yeah.
So up next, if the Tisha team could just come back on, you can stop sharing your screen, Jimmy.
Okay, thank you very much.
Well done. So Victoria, if you guys could please stop presenting. Okay, I'll move on to the next.
Please move on to the next. Good afternoon, everyone.
Okay, cool. And then I think the next one is Konzaltant. John.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, very good. So I'll take the next 3 minutes to share what I had done. Let me just share my screen. Okay, so everybody's able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, yes, so this is Twĩrute. Twĩrute is a word in my mother tongue, Gikuyu, which means let's learn. And this is a pitch deck that shows what I intend to do with this particular project. Just advancing. I could begin by explaining the problem, that currently anybody who wants to learn my mother tongue will find that the tools are scattered in very many places. You can find videos on YouTube, you can find content, books in different disparate places, but to find them in one place, which is where you can learn easily and effectively, is a bit difficult. The time it would take, because a lot of current methods would require classroom participation, and there's also the cost of learning it. Many of them charge fees that may be a bit too high. So the solution that I propose, and that is the Twĩrute Learning app, web app. It brings the learning online, puts them in one place on a website that is gikuyu.online/Twĩrute. It makes it learning on demand, so somebody can take as short a time or as long as they would like. And I've chosen to price it at the level of a pay TV subscription, which is something that is quite common where we live. So approximately about $20. Now, which market am I looking at initially? I'm looking at about 8 counties in Kenya. Of course, this is by no means exhaustive, but the reason why I selected these 8 counties is because number one, the population size, that's about 12.65 million people as per the last census, and 20 people radio every day. So we're talking about 920,000. Now, many of them would want to, get more content, more learning content, and that's how I arrived at the figure of 920,000. 20% of 12.65, of the population that listens to Gikuyu radio daily in these counties that I selected works out to about 4.6 million. 20% of that now brings you to 920,000. Okay, and here's my business model. That shows you who my key partners are. Of course, we'll have to interact with the Kenya Institute of Curriculum Development. I'm aware they've got a lot of content. They've just not been able to bring it all together, and that is what I intend to do. Of course, the radio stations, just as has already been mentioned. There's an organization called Itweka.org, which is trying to bring together teachers of indigenous languages, as well as other textbook printers and TV stations. Key activities as shown there: building of our e-learning platform, launch business development, the cost structure, revenue streams, and I would be happy to share all these details with you if you would so want. Quick word on the competition. We have the Language School of Kenya, which offers online courses but no e-learning solution that is evident. It is yet unclear how they do their online learning. There's also CiTi Online Campus, who've also produced textbooks, but the website, as of the time I checked, seemed not to work. And there's Kikuyuland.com, which focuses on teaching the culture, but not language, grammar, and so on per se. So in some ways it could be competition, in some ways it could also be complementary, and that will all have to pan out in the fullness of time. Now, how are we better? It's because we use technology. When the solution is complete, we'll also integrate augmented reality and virtual reality. It will be on demand, enable learners to study whenever, wherever, and for however long they please. And at the same time, we'll also provide a readily available teacher to assist in the learning, because we realize that everybody learns differently. There are people who may learn by listening, people who may learn by seeing, and there are people who learn by doing. So we want to mix all these three so that we can provide a complete learning experience. Now, how are you going to market this? Word of mouth, radio, social media, and also blogs. And these are the milestones. The idea started in May. We are now building, and we hope to be done by the end of July. Then we'll use August to September to test what we have.
Up, John.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, so that's the ask. 5,000 South African rands to build and launch a web and mobile app. Thank you very much.
First off, you take questions from the judges. Any questions from the judges? Sorry,
John, can you maybe go back to the slides? I was actually asking John to go back to, I think it's the first, if not the third, if not the fourth slide, where he mentioned the size of the market.
Yeah.
All right. So, John, how do you arrive to that 920?
Okay. This is based on a survey that was done by the regulator. In Kenya, the regulator for broadcast is the Communications Authority of Kenya. So they produced a report that showed the number of people who listen to Kikuyu radio every day. That number came to 4.6 million. So what I said is, what I took, I So they said that the number of people listening to radio in that region that I have highlighted is 4.6 million. Now, 20% of those listen exclusively to Gikuyu radio.
Oh, all right.
So that's how I got that number.
Oh, okay. So they are the listeners further away, right?
Yes, that's correct.
So that's about it. Thanks.
Okay.
All right, just two questions for me. The first one is the $20. Is that a monthly, annual, or once off? And then the second part is I just want to get better understanding on if this is obviously for languages, the AR and VR opportunity there. Can that be elaborated a bit more, please?
Okay. Now, the 20 million is per course. There are 3 courses. I thought I'd included that slide. It was my oversight. But there are 3 levels. There is basic, there is intermediate. There are 2 levels of intermediate. So this is, the pricing is for the entire course. Whether somebody takes 2 weeks to go through it or takes a bit longer, it's entirely up to the individual. But it starts off at $20. Yeah.
And then if you don't mind just elaborating on the AR, VR side of things, I just want to get a better understanding as to how that would be like in the language.
Okay. With the growth of it. Okay.
Just everybody's asking.
Okay. Yeah, okay, so with the growth of AR and VR, there is a real opportunity to be able to teach using these tools. You see, in the olden days, a teacher would have to come with an actual model of an object that they want to show you, or maybe draw a picture. But AR and VR allow us to be able to have virtual 3D images that may be moving, it may be animated, that can actually help somebody to be able to learn the content, or be able to learn the language. So for example, if you're taking students through vocabulary on animals, for example, you can have a virtual images, and then now teach them the word of each animal, and then see it actually as integrating sound and video and so on. So I'm looking at it from that learning perspective, that well done, it can very easily complement and enhance the learning experience.
Hi, John. Sorry, can I ask you to please mute slightly? The sound is quite overbearing. Thank you. So I just basically wanted to ask, in terms of the platform itself, so would it just be like an online e-learning service where a student would just click on and interact with the page, or would there be an integration of live tutors as well?
Initially, I was looking at it as an online experience, but I do realize that there may be situations where a student may want to have a live teacher. So down the road, we are definitely going to integrate live teachers, but in the beginning, it will probably be an online experience.
Thank you.
Cool. I know I see there's a hand. I don't know who else raised their hand.
It's me,
but I think,
but if there's not time, it's fine.
Okay. Let's do just one more question, and then from you, Grant, then we'll jump on to the next page.
So, okay, I'll be brief. Thank you, John. That was good. It was great to see you've done that work on focusing on the 8 counties. I think that's a manageable, chunk that you can bite off. The one thing that wasn't clear to me, please, was the demand for Gikuyu. or Kikuyu, sorry, because you say that, or in a document I got, you say that, you know, there's potential for it to be used as an official language or to develop voice recognition tools. I'm just wondering, you know, aside from Kiswahili, is there a demand for these subnational languages, A, in a kind of an official realm, and B, for people who don't speak them already? I don't 100% understand what the application would be once they've learned them, where they would use them, etc.
Okay, to answer your question, in the Kenyan context, we've got two languages. We've got English and Swahili, and most of the population speaks Swahili. But what is increasingly happening is that there's a lot more attachment. There's a growing feel that people want to be able to communicate in their own mother tongue. I see it all the time, for example, on Facebook groups that are exclusively done in Gikuyu, where you find young people want to know what does this word mean, or how do we use this, and so on. So I can see that there seems to be a nascent demand for an online language learning solution. What I probably would need to do a bit more is to maybe be able to explain it at a very granular level as to what kind of demand that we're looking at. Right now, I'm looking at the numbers of those ones who have an interest in learning Gikuyu, and that is why I've really focused it to a very narrow population. I know there may be many others because we've got a huge diaspora, but the demand is coming from that feeling of people wanting to, as it were, go back to their roots. I would also probably attribute it to. Sorry, is there a problem?
You can just do the last set of the response. The chat, that would be great.
Can I try again?
We'll just need to jump on the bridge. Okay, cool. So I think Tisha team, so Victoria.
Tisha team, Victoria.
John, you can stop sharing. Victoria, you can just unmute yourself. Olu. Iku? Yes, sir. Okay. Just share your screen and you can start your pitch.
Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see it. We can see it.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. Apologies for picking the wrong link. It's been waiting to be let in. Okay, so quickly, my name is Chagmin Kujanyo. I'm here to talk about Tisha. I'm a co-founder with Tisha. I'll start with a small story, right? I have an 11-year-old son who is quite smart. I mean, at the age of 6, he learned to play the piano in 3 months, just so he could play for his uncle who was getting married, right? He speaks flawless English. He can speak conversational French, knows a bit of Spanish words, probably around 50 plus, but there's a small problem, right? He can't speak his native language, which is Yoruba. This I found out to be a recurring thing amongst my peers amongst middle class young Africans, and is even a lot more pronounced for African migrants, right? So here comes Tisha. So Tisha, what is Tisha? What are we trying to do at Tisha? At Tisha, we're trying to, the philosophy is that we're designing solutions, language solutions, to save and promote the unique African linguistic diversity and connect African language and heritage to the world. And the way we want to do that is to, deliver easy, rich, easy to understand African language and cultural lessons. So we're not about the language alone, but also about the culture via technology channels in a very easy, fun way. Our products, we are delivering beyond the traditional method of delivering language knowledge. We also have come up with use case learning. So it's short, precise. You want to just learn a language so that you can be able to transact. You want to meet the family of your beloved, someone you're going to get married to. There's meet the family and all of that. We're also looking at, in subsequent iterations, being able to have users learn in their base language instead of the usual learning with English as a base language. Our customer segments, users for us, children, students, multinational expatriates can be also double as not just users, but as customers, institutions, because we're also building a rail for language as a for PaaS, platform as a service. So we're building APIs along with what we're building right now. The market size, total addressable market size is $27 billion, the language market. Out of this, we are looking to service a market size of $204 million. I also have to add here that, the online language market is seeing a 10% growth year on year. Our business model, we have freemium API users, which will be—
Sorry, Olu, your time is up.
Yes.
You can just clarify anything that's left from the questions. So I'll just take 2 questions if possible, just for the sake of time, from Belinda, and then Grant, Allan, or Khumbulani. If you guys have questions, you can also just raise your hands.
See the picture of what it says.
Or any of the other judges if they have questions.
Please fire away.
Thank you, Olu, for the presentation. That was great. Just the only question that I have from my side is just to understand your company's leadership background. Yeah, just to know, what you guys have been up to prior to the startup.
Okay, thank you very much for your question. Currently for the team, we have 3 co-founders. I'm a co-founder, and I also double as the CEO. I have an extensive background in business and product development, operation strategy. Quite recently, I just built from ground up a fintech in Lagos, here in Nigeria, that over 18 months was able to do a turnover of 50 billion naira, would be somewhere in the region of over 100 million, somewhere around the $100 million, right? Toluoke is also a co-founder. He's our head of strategy. He works with one of the biggest toll firms in Canada. He's has over 12 years experience in project management. And then we have a technical CTO, Kazim, who, I mean, we've also worked together at my last gig. We worked together. I was the COO, he was the CTO. And, you know, we did great things together. We also have Mayowa Olabi, who is our advisor. Perhaps, I'm sure his name would have popped up somewhere in these circles. And Boyega Oshokoya, who, you know, apart from being a lawyer, is a creative director.
Awesome, thank you. One last question from Allan, and then we'll jump onto the next pitch.
All right, so obviously it wasn't necessarily covered. I just wanted to understand more on the traction, because I did see there was something on that, so I could just get clarity on that.
Okay, thank you for the question. So Tisha was, we started Tisha earlier on this year, sometime at the end of January. We didn't get it registered until sometime in April. But between that time and now, team recruitment, we have currently on the tech side, apart from the 5 faces I just showed, on the tech side, we have a backend engineer, we have a mobile developer, we have a product manager, we have Victoria, who is on this call, who doubles as both a business analyst and business development for us. The other things that we do, we outsource. So that's team recruitment. Technology is almost ready. Our MVP launch is set for August 1st. We are launching with mobile apps. So we built mobile app for iOS and Android. We also have built an admin portal for the MVP launch. We're launching with one language so that we can, you know, we want to test the market with that. Content-wise, we're good with content. I mean, we have Yoruba language. We also have Igbo, but we just, you know, are really focused on Yoruba for now. There's a part of the business where of our offerings where we also want to be able to represent proverbs, African proverbs. So we are animating that. We have 4,500 proverbs across 10 languages, Swahili, Yoruba, Hausa, Arabic, a couple of other languages, Bantu. Partnership-wise, we have 4 academias who have signed up in advisory roles with us. 2 of them are professors from the University of Lagos, early child development experts. We're also trying to look at how we can, you know, tweak our solution for, you know, government agencies, perhaps to help in some of the social interventions that government is doing, you know. And then finally, and that's the reason why we have someone like Tolu on board. Just recently, as an example, the Illinois School Board passed a resolution to say that from August this year and next 2 months, African languages will be taught across the entire state, right? So we are looking at partnerships with schools where we can provide the APIs for them to power their learning. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Olu. Up next, Chase, if you're ready, or you could just stop sharing a slide.
Okay.
And then sort of the last pitch for the afternoon is Chase.
Awesome, thank you very much, Seppo. Thanks to the Injini team for the opportunity, as well as the judges here today. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And as I'm doing that, I'm going to welcome you to Everthee and what we here are doing in the African languages space. So to really understand what we're trying to do, it helps to understand the context, because there's this problem that Uvati here has. Uvati has just gotten a job in Mauritius. She's working for a university there. And so she's going to be going, she gets there all prepared, understands that, great, everybody speaks English. I'm South African, I speak English, but realizes, oh no, not everybody speaks English here. This is a Mauritian Creole context. That's what everybody speaks. That's what's spoken in the bank. That's what's spoken in government. And so what happened? What happened was she looked at the map on the right and said, everybody speaks English because that must be the language of business. It's the language of government. Only to realize when she got there that actually she's in the map on the left. She's in the nearly universal multilingual realities on the African continent. So what's the solution to this problem? Well, when she's in South Africa and when she's in Mauritius, it's to plug her into the opportunities that present themselves online that we are creating to get Vati to engage with Mauritian Creole through native speakers, to plug her into that world. So that way, when she gets to Mauritius, when she's in Mauritius, she can live a full life in Mauritian Creole and she's not encumbered by all of the problems she's facing. What does that look like at a product? It's a comprehensive language learning universe in pixel art. So going from a free demo in the beginning into a single player and multiplayer environment where individuals and customers can pay for the opportunity to not only engage in real time with native speakers, but also asynchronously with native speakers, whether that's via Discord or in the multiverse, we can solve this problem for them. The initial target market that we're looking at is 10% of the expat and international student community in Mauritius. Those are South Africans that are there for business. Those are Kenyans that are there for studying. But the point that I would like to really drive home here is that it's not limited to Mauritius, because these situations, these dynamics are present across the entire continent. And so we're looking to grow across these languages. It's not just Mauritian Creole. So this business model starts with a B2C. We engage with the customers who sell to them directly to build up brand awareness, to then build up partnerships with these international companies and these international universities that are sending people to Mauritius and other African countries like South Africa, Cape Town in particular, and others across the continent. Obviously, we're not alone in this space. We've got everybody here on the call that's doing great work in this space. And we've also got big names that are doing this space that have already got turnovers in the millions and billions. But what they do is they decontextualize, or they offer only semi-immersion, or they offer an incredibly scheduled format. What we're doing is solving all of those problems by making this narrative-based, not decontextualized, fully immersive, not only semi, and having this be flexible for the users and the consumers. So how can we do this? Well, this is the team we've got, and we've got a hell of a team. I'm a polyglot. I work at a university as faculty. We've got our CBO, who is an entrepreneur with many years of experience in education. And we've got an engineer on the team as well. So we're fluent across a number of platforms, a number of systems, a number of softwares. And so what is our ask today? It's not actually for your money. It's for coaching, mentorship, and partnerships. We're confident in the idea, and the prize money would be used to fund a 75-person meetup with native speakers in the metaverse. But that's what we're here today to do. Would love to take any questions you might have and elaborate on things I didn't get to deliver in this pitch. Thank you so much. And now I'm going to put myself on mute and hand it over to you, the judges, for any questions you may have. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Chase, for that presentation. Wonderful. Any questions from the judges? Yeah.
I have a question, Chase. In terms of you.
Go ahead, Khumbulani, sorry.
Hello?
Go ahead, Khumbulani.
Yes. Okay. Well, in terms of the, what we call the model, I've heard you mentioning, maybe can you please go back to that, to the slide where you've mentioned, is it B2B, B2C, B2B? Can you maybe
Yes,
go
it is.
back
It
there?
starts B2C and then goes to B2B once we have brand awareness with international companies and international universities.
All right. So at the point where, okay, so once you guys have you said once you have a partnership with who? With which companies exactly? Have you
Yeah.
sort of put together companies that you're gonna work with?
Yeah. So for instance, in terms of the companies, Microsoft,
Or that you'd like to work with?
Yeah. So for instance, there's a heck of a delay, so I apologize if it seems like I'm cutting you off or if I'm taking really long to respond to you. But what we've identified is that because of Mauritian policy, there's actually quite a lot of companies that are coming to Mauritius. So for instance, because of the war in Ukraine, Microsoft is relocating all of their offices to Mauritius that are in the affected regions of the Ukraine and Russia. So we've got thousands of people coming into Mauritius there, and that's only one company because of the Mauritian government's policy to make Mauritius a popular destination for high-income expats and for companies given their tax regulation. That's why we're targeting the particularly expat professionals. Same with international students at universities. So there are UCT students, universities. Same with international that send their students to Mauritius for various opportunities, as well as a number of students from Kenya, from Ghana, and from across the continent.
Awesome. Thanks, Chase. Anyone else?
All right, cool. So you,
anyone else? Okay,
all right, just the last question for you, Chase. So you guys are looking at scaling from Mauritius to the rest of the continent. Am I correct?
Yes, what we've done, and what I didn't get to mention before, is that this entire metaverse is prior language independent. So you do not need to speak English to learn Mauritian Creole or Kiswahili or Xhosa. You do not need to speak Spanish or French. Prior language independent, which allows us to expand. And also because I am the polyglot and have broken this down for myself, being self-taught multiple times, I know exactly what needs to happen at each of the stages. Speaking 9 to 10 languages through that, well, let's say 9 that I learned because I spoke English monolingually growing up. But that's right. Sorry. Belinda, you've got a question. Thank you so much, Khumbulani, for yours.
Thank you. Thank you, Chase. Great pitch. I just
Thanks a lot, Chase.
Sorry, I'm just trying to wrap my head around how your user would be interacting with the platform already. So I noticed that, you know, they'd obviously be speaking to native speakers. Can you please just go through that again with me, just so I can be able to get like a visual understanding of how they would be interacting in the platform?
Of course. Belinda, have you ever played Pokemon before? Or have your kids ever played Pokemon before? All right, so imagine Pokemon for language learning. Pokemon doesn't teach you how to play the game. You play the game, and because of the design of the good folks at Nintendo, you learn how to play the game through just interacting with it. And so that is the setup here. That's how a child learns a language. No kid ever learns a language because their parents sat and taught them all of the King James verses in all of the grammatical nuance that they may be. Nope, they get it through context. They get it through using the language and interacting with real people to have both intellectual knowledge buttressed and nuanced with emotional resonance as they form memories around it. So that's what we're doing in the single player. And in the multiplayer, it's to take that same dynamic and go, okay, well now, more than just NPCs or non-playable characters, we have SPCs or supporting player characters. Those are real people on the other side that aren't there as tutors. This is not us teaching anybody a language. This is us facilitating somebody to learn a language without needing to speak any other language beforehand. That's what we're doing. Can I ask, or can I answer another question for you, Belinda?
No, that's great. Thank you very much.
I think Allan had a question. I don't know if your question.
All right.
Allan had a question.
Just the last one. Just the last question from my side. Yes. So tell me, Chase, are you the only person in in this business, or do you have? I mean, how many of you guys are in the team? Or if there's any team, or are you the only one?
There are 3 of us. So I'm the dude dealing with all of the language and all of the tech to make the language happen. Then we've got our CBO Dana, who is all things business, all things making this actually make money and making this actually happen. And then we've got our engineer Brandon, who is all things user experience and all things technical. So these are the APIs or any other add-on we would be putting into the metaverse to fill out the experience and make it more authentic, but also more realistic to how we actually engage with sounds and links and so on and so forth.
Cool. I think your time is up, but I just want to give Allan an opportunity to ask.
Yeah, I think I just want just an expansion on the revenue model, please.
Yeah, please. And which way can I particularly talk to it?
Just in terms of sustainability and like, yeah, expansion, if you don't mind, because I wasn't 100% sure as to how you guys are going to be generating revenue. Gotcha.
So the revenue is generated with direct B2C customer sales through a product as a service model. So this looks like your standard $4.99 for a subscription for a month. Uvati is going to Mauritius. Great. Her company doesn't pay for it. So she comes onto the platform for $5 a month, US dollars a month. That is what the B2C looks like. And for B2B, it would be, okay, well, now Microsoft has a lot of people coming to Mauritius and those employees are clamoring to have the company pay for this rather than themselves. So to then partner with Microsoft to say, great, Microsoft just gets to offer this to its staff that are relocating, so that way they can put down long-term roots into Mauritius, which is exactly what the government wants them to do because they're high income earners in the Mauritian context. And so then to offer a package specifically for Microsoft. As you can imagine, that might look like tailoring the content specifically to the needs of Microsoft, because I'm sure when a bunch of software engineers come to Mauritius and then people ask, oh, what do you do for work? Oh, you work at Microsoft. Oh, what do you actually do at Microsoft? That would go a little bit above and beyond what maybe Uvati is trying to do when she comes to Mauritius to work at a university. So that's the bit of the revenue model there.
Thank you.
Very welcome. Thanks so much, everybody. Handing it back over to Seppo now.
Thank you so much, Chase. And well done for the great presentation, and well done to everyone that presented today. Great to see all the progress that's been made so far. I'm just going to give the judges to sort of reconcile their scores for all the participants. Please just make sure that you add something to each presenter that's presented. If you're unsure of like who presented, more than welcome to just like directly message myself in the chat here. And then lastly, I'd like to just give two audience members once while they're sort of reconciling, the judges are reconciling the scores, to ask a question or give feedback. So if there's anyone, I saw earlier on, there was someone from the audience that had raised their hand. I don't know if it was a mistake, but if there's anyone from the audience that has some questions, thoughts, and feedback, or if you'd like to connect any of the guys that pitched to someone that you think would help in terms of contributing towards their journey. I'll let it be this like awkward pause before I actually say OPM.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Apple. My question is actually for Olujimi. I can't remember the organization's name now, but that's a very brilliant idea. And I like the part where it mentioned how they want to provide services for youth corps members that are posted to other parts of Nigeria, and they need to understand the language. So my question for him is are they putting into consideration how internet accessibility could be, you know, I don't know if it's going to be a problem or they already have a solution for that, especially in remote places where the youth corps member, for example, cannot access internet and needs to, you know, reach out to a native speaker to understand their language, or how does that work?
Cool, Jimmy, you can answer.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's the product is, yeah, definitely internet based. Definitely internet based. Yeah, but well, considering that for areas that with low internet, we would probably consider options of maybe downloading some of the content that you can then use offline. So yeah, it's a good question that would make us think in line of that. So prior to now, we've not really we've not really thought about people that didn't have access to the internet, how they can get to use it. But yeah, it's yeah, we'll look into that. And then there are also options where you can get to save internet. Apart from video content, you have audio content, and then you have text. So you can choose how you want to interact with learning. So there are text, for example, you can save data, and then there are options where you can probably download part of the content and view offline. So for when you're going to the part where the internet is bad or something, yeah. So we'll look and see how we can improve the product with your feedback. It's a good question. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I really like the idea. It's a really very brilliant one. So good job.
Yeah, thank you, Premi.
Thank you, Opeyemi. And Opeyemi allowed to do this, but she was part of our previous bootcamps as well, so it's amazing to see.
Okay.
So, and then Tian, I hope I pronounced that right.
Thank you so much, everyone, for your wonderful presentation. I have load shedding and I'm using my network, so hopefully this will go through all right. So I'm fascinated by everyone's presentation, and especially the very last presentation by Chase, talking about multiverse that seems to be coming from fantasy, and also the idea of meta. I want to point this question to Chase, but perhaps anyone who would like to answer may also answer about the potential of the meta worlds that we are going to live in, and multiverse that is in the virtual world, in the post-pandemic world. What are the potentials, I wonder, of that within language learning and beyond the language learning? You know, where should we go from there? Just very curious. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the question.
Thanks, Tian, for the question. Can I go ahead and respond to him, Seppo? Cool. So what the metaverse is a really unique opportunity to solve a problem that we have had literally ever since time immemorial, which is you're trying to communicate information from person to person, from thought in one person's mind to thought in the other person's mind. But you have to do it via decontextualized means, right? If I tell you that I feel sad, you don't actually know what I'm feeling. I use that word as a tool, but it doesn't come with a whole lot of context, right? What helps it is my facial features and my expression, maybe something you know about my past. What the metaverse is an opportunity to really solve that problem, because it says, great, you can create an entire universe online where everything can have context as much as it possibly can. So rather than doing a bunch of drills about I am learning, I am talking, I am eating, oh, sorry, are you eating? No, I am eating, oh, ha, ha, ha. No, it's decontextualized. It doesn't matter, because when you get into a moment with a native speaker, you actually can't use the language, because now you're not in a drill context. You're not getting it as a little sheet and it's options A, B, or C. It's actually, you just need to speak it, and you need to speak it fast enough and comprehensibly enough in order to be understood. So that's the real opportunity of the metaverse, is to go beyond the tools which are decontextualized, like text, like speech, just normally, and go, great. Now, if I say, oh, look at that bird over there, you don't have to imagine it. You can see my finger pointing, you can hear my speech, you can see the text written, and you can see the bird because it's over there. So those are the opportunities as I understand them. Thanks, Tian, and I'm happy for anybody else to speak to this point as well.
Okay, fantastic. I think I'll cut it there. So the scores are ready, and we've got sort of the final scores in. But before I announce the winner for the afternoon, I'd like to just take an opportunity to appreciate and give gratitude to our judges for taking the time to be with us this afternoon. And then also just congratulate everyone that came and participated today. There was a lot more of you that started in the bootcamp. Just want to say big ups to you and well done and congratulations. I think being able to step and just sort of be here in front of a lot of random strangers and present your ideas is a big one. So if one of the judges, one person each, if they could share like one overall sort of piece of advice sort of going forward in terms of like in general for all the entrepreneurs that pitched today, what would it be? I'll start with Grant.
geez, you put me on the spot, Sybil. I mean, I can only think of, if I think of in terms of people's pitches, I think more pictures and less text, short is good. Like that's impactful. It is something that I would go for.
Cool, fantastic, that's good. Keep it short, have more images, has more impact. Amazing. Allan.
I think like my general feedback is around about like practice essentially. So some of the guys don't normally try to do that. It is one of the key things you want to try and like highlight, is to go through it a couple of times and make sure that you got your timing right as well, because it's always like not great if you don't get through the entire presentation and there's a lot of like answers to questions that we couldn't get to because we couldn't see the rest of the pitch. So just be aware about that.
Thanks, Allan. Belinda.
Yeah, so I totally agree with Grant and Allan. The look and feel of the pitch is, you know, always imperative that it looks great. It's more pictures for sure, less wording, as well as making sure that you time yourself correctly. But one thing that I can definitely say to everyone is that you've done the groundwork, which is getting started, and that's the most important thing. And you're passionate about what you do, about what you want to do, and that's also you know, very, very important. As long as you get started and you're passionate, you'll definitely do great things.
Awesome, thank you so much, Belinda. And then I think the last, Khumbulani. From an investor side, you're
right.
Investor side.
Okay, let me turn on my camera. My goodness, it's sort of taking time.
All right.
All right. From my end, yes, awesomeness. All right. From my end, all I can say is that well done, guys. You did very well. But moving forward, maybe what you need to do is try to pitch to many people as possible. And the more you do that, the better, of course, you'll sort of become, because you'll be getting feedback as to exactly what do you need to do. Another thing is in terms of total addressable market, you know, there's a way in which you calculate that. You don't just maybe research and be like, okay, it's a $500 market. You see, so things like that, you just need to make sure that you at least you covered, and no much assumptions. And another thing is be interactive as possible. Well done on that, Chase. There must be energy, be energetic, be passionate about the problem that you're solving, and make sure that it's a problem that has affected you personally or people around you, right? So that it aligns. I mean, problems like that, they tend to align. I mean, building a startup is very hard work. You need to ensure that you do something that really aligns with yourself, with who you are exactly. Overall, thank you, guys. Anyway, we've been told to be to be very polite and and yeah, but
Thank you so much, Khumbulani, and for exposing us. But yeah, I really appreciate your feedback and appreciate your time once again. And the final scores, I just want to sort of highlight that the final scores are based on sort of the deliverables that each of the companies have sort of put in throughout the bootcamp, as well as the final scores for the pitches this afternoon. So the winners, I'd say sort of, okay, now the first prize goes to Everthee Languages. So Chase and the team, well done. And then in second place, we've got Tisha. So well done to Olu and Victoria. And then following that is Very Easy Languages, coming in third place. So well done, everyone. And then obviously John sort of in fourth place. But I think, like I said earlier, I think each and every one of you did really, really well. And congratulations once again. And congratulations to Chase and your team. Well done for all the work you've put in. And thank you, everyone, once again, for spending the afternoon with us. To everyone that's joined, really appreciate you guys being part of our community. And yeah, thank you so much for the afternoon. Have a great afternoon, everyone. And Chase will be in touch on your prize.
Thank you so much, everybody. Appreciated the opportunity. Have a good rest of your days.
Cheers.
Appreciate the opportunity. Congratulations, Chase. See you.